Okay, good. I think,
You will be showing from the phone, right?
yeah, yeah. At some point, I will be sharing the phone also, but most of the time, this is only towards the end of it. So I'll,
Okay, no worry, no worry.
okay. Thank you. I think we are all set now.
Yeah. It was quite busy day for me. I had a board meeting, I had a AGM meeting, and now this.
Right, right.
But I'm going on leave from tomorrow. Durga Puja.
Yeah.
When are you coming back from Singapore?
I'm coming back tomorrow. Sorry,
Oh,
day after tomorrow. Day after
okay.
tomorrow. That's also and at the verge of Durga Puja. Basically, it's first day of Puja. I should be there, but
But that is
nowadays,
today is fourth day. That was 21st.
correct. So no, yeah, fifth day I'm coming back. Basically, Panchami. I'm yeah. And Acha, I'm actually when I'm answering your question, if I have some notes on the screen. I hope it doesn't look like I'm reading out anything, right? I mean, just to let you know that this is
No, no, that's fine. That's absolutely fine.
yeah, just some notes. I mean, there's not just bullet points that I want to touch upon, so that
Yes, yes,
don't miss
please,
anything.
please.
Yeah.
I have taken a printout.
Okay. Awesome. No, that sounds good. Sounds good. I think
Yeah,
we are
we
all
are
set.
all learning.
Right. Right.
2 minutes more, we'll start. So, good afternoon, everyone. It's 3 p.m. It's time to start our session. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Amu Bajag campus, for joining. Captain Devasis Basu, if you can switch on your camera. And all other participants, if you wish to switch on your camera, it will be great. And I'll request others to keep your mic in the mute mode. I can see Captain Saran sir is also online. I see Sahira, our team. Captain Saran sir is very senior mentor from our Seafarers Global Mentoring team. Captain Najir Upadhyay, and all the members from Seafarers Global and who were joining across the globe and who is watching us on Sailor Today live. So welcome everyone for this our monthly leadership talk series. We will now formally start this. So it gives me immense pleasure welcoming my dear, very close friend, Captain Devasis Basu. On behalf of Seafarers Global Organization, it is my privilege to extend a very warm welcome to Captain Devasis Basu, our esteemed speaker for today's session for Maritime Leaders Talk Series. Captain Basu is the founder and director of Navguide Solutions, where he works closely with vessel owners to strengthen SIRE 2.0 right safe and port state control performance. A former BLCC master, he has commanded some of the world's largest tankers with his first command in April 2013 at New York after beginning his seafaring careers in 1998 from Chanakya. He is an alumnus of TS Chanakya, 12th PC batch, and a product of Kolkata's missionary school, St. Paul's and St. Thomas. Captain Basu has since carved an inspiring journey from cadet to master with Valam and later with Stena and Bahut. Today, he is recognized globally as a maritime competence expert and keynote speaker, having delivered influential talks at Intertanko, BIMCO, and twice at IMO, International Maritime Organization. As the creator of innovative digital tools such as Guide to Inspections, and as a published author and blogger, he has pioneered modern approaches to maritime training, mentoring, and compliance. Captain Basu's entrepreneurial journey with Navguide Solution has been nothing short of remarkable, working with international maritime bodies like Intertanko and ITF, while being supported by leaders from IMO, P&I clubs, classification societies, oil majors, and top ship management companies. His vision and leadership have recently been recognized through the CMMI's Founders Innovation Award for year 2025. Captain Vasu's journey from the bridge of a VLCC to the global stage of maritime innovation is truly inspirational. We are honored to have you with us today, Captain Vasu, and we eagerly look forward to your thoughts, insights, and guidance as we explore the journey of Captain Vasu and the maritime innovation that has shaped maritime civilization and global industry.
Fantastic. So, yeah, thank you so much for that. And I think we are still waiting for some others to join in, and then we can run some initial idea to get the idea of the room to run some surveys. I think maybe you can introduce that a little bit, Captain Amrish, about the
Yeah,
yeah.
so we have prepared some questions which Captain Vasu will be sharing with all of us. I request Captain Basu to share your Mentimeter questions just to understand the pulse with our young cadets who are watching. You can see from IMU Bajak, they are all there. So they
Okay.
can probably participate, and others who are there can participate. Over to you. You can please go ahead.
Good. Okay, so I'm going to share a question just to get an idea of the room before we start the session. So, 1 minute. Not sure what is.
Yes, started.
Okay, so give me one moment. Huh? It is
Yeah, yeah, no worries.
reloading. Yeah. I think Captain English, we can go ahead with the presentation. I mean, the rest of the podcast, and
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
come in
no
as
worry.
and when.
No worry, Captain Basu. So we will put up these questions later on for mentees and mentors, especially with
Sure.
mentees. Basically, we wanted to ensure that you are engaged with our session because most of the time we have observed during online session, especially with those who have kept the camera off, are also engaged with some other activities, not much attentive to what is going on. So it was basically a kind of approach and a kind of effort from our side to keep you engaged and hooked in. So hopefully, with the once the talk starts, when the journey of Captain Basu starts, you all will be automatically glued into the session. So without wasting much time, Captain Basu, again, thank you so much for accepting our invite and thank you so much for joining us. I know you are in Singapore. You have been very busy. You had a very busy day, having so many of meetings. In spite of all your busy schedules, you have agreed to meet us. You have agreed to spend time with our mentees and mentors. And I'm sure with your experience and especially with the innovation and the expertise that you carry with yourself in terms of technology, I'm sure that will add a lot of value to our leadership talk series today that I'm having with you. But before you start, Captain Basu, I would like to know about yourself, whatever you wish to share with your journey before you started your sea career. I mean, I know you are from Kolkata, but most of the mentees probably may not be knowing. So just a quick brief, how you came to shipping, what helped you, or what kind of motivation you got to join the shipping.
Yeah, it's an honor, first of all, Captain Amresh, to address this audience, and very excited about it. To answer your question, I come from a middle class background in Kolkata, and right after my class 12, my father asked me one day that, are you interested to go into, because at during those days the only options we could think of is either you become an engineer or a doctor. Those are the only two options that you have as a science student to pursue. Shipping as a career, especially in Calcutta, there's a DMAT Calcutta, so you can still imagine people be coming into the marine engineering profession. But for the deck side, there were not much awareness was there. I think it's a lot better now. But then I told my dad, yes, of course, why not? I mean, it's exciting. I get to travel the world, and those are the things that you have initially in your mind, and that's how the journey started. I had a decent percentage on my class 12, so I applied to Wallums at the time and got selected. And almost immediately, in 3 days of my selection, I got sent to the pre-C Chanakya. I'm the 12th pre-C batch in Chanakya. So 1998, sorry, 97, I was in the pre-C batch. So that's how my career started. It was sort of a quick decision that yes, why not? And then I had no idea what I was about to get into, but it has been an exciting journey ever since. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Captain Basu. And I think you are from those lucky ones who got an opportunity to join right after 12. In our
Yeah.
case, I joined after my graduation. So you were quite lucky to start right after your school, and that too from TS Chanakya. So just take us your journey from cadet to master. I know you have been sailing with Wala, which is one of the best companies still, and you got your training from Chanakya, and how it has helped your training, how the training has helped, and how your journey has been at sea, and whatever leadership lessons or whatever you have learned as a cadet or mates or master that you would like to share with our cadets who are watching us or the senior officers who are watching.
Yeah, that was quite an exciting journey. As I said, I had no clue of what I was getting into when I was joining the vessel. So I did my pre-C in 97, and I joined my first ship in 98. And first time I was flying abroad, first flight, and I was joining the ship from New York. And that entire flight, I was so excited that, okay, I'm out of the country for the first time. It's a new journey. And then Staten Island, New York, my first ship, I got on the vessel. And a matter of 2 hours, the vessel sailed out. And as we lost sight of the shore, we were suddenly in a different world altogether. So it's very different from today's day and age where you have internet, because we did not obviously have internet at the time. And so we immediately found ourselves in a floating island, which is thousands of miles from home. And and the and life at sea was very different, of course. I mean, I'm sure Captain Amresh would also agree with that. When we joined the vessel, things did not always happen our way. I remember for the first 3 months, I was working for about 16 hours a day, and only little small breaks for meals, 20-minute breaks, 15 minutes breaks for coffees. And and I remember there was one incident that I really recall. I was late one day for the midnight watch. I was keeping a watch with second mate, and I was about 10 minutes late. The captain found out that I was late, and he asked the second mate to ask me to come on deck. Deck lights were switched on. I had to come on the hatch cover, on the seventh hatch cover, where the captain could see me from his cabin, and I was asked for 100 push-ups. And at the end of 100 push-ups, I was asked to come back on the bridge. Uh, and then I was made to stand on the North Atlantic winter in the bridge wing for a double watch, which meant that I was keeping from 12 to 4 and then 4 to 8, 8 hours watch on the bridge wing. Not pretty at all. I remember second mate sort of broke the rule in between and called me inside for a coffee in between. But that I remember that he was almost doing me a favor by even calling me in for a coffee, because captain had said that no, he doesn't come inside. And And um, and finally, after at 8 o'clock, when I knocked off from the bridge, a quick breakfast, and then I was asked to paint the anchor, and that was my job of the day when I finished my job. So the thing is, at that point of time, we had no benchmarks. We had no way to compare ourselves with others. We did not know what the rest of the world was going through. We only knew what was going with us. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know, but I know one thing for sure, that we had no way to complain to anybody, and that element of not being able to complain either turns you into steel or it breaks you completely. You can go either way. So uh, and most of us, I believe, came through with that in a very becoming much more stronger than we joined. And even calling home was a luxury. 10 $10 a minute. So every week you can only make a few minutes of a call, and you can't do more than that. And even my parents, when we were exchanging those few minutes, all we could say is, "I am okay. Are you okay?" And I think my parents also had their own challenges. They also said, "We are all good. Don't worry about us. You stay safe," and all that. So this was the exchange. So basically, there was no way to share problems that I was having. And at the time, somehow we realized that in a very short time, we were 18 at the time or 19 at the time. So, but we very quickly realized that our problem are really our problems. This is nobody else's problem. We have to sort of handle this. And it was sort of this silo of transformation. I think you also must have faced a similar situation when you joined, because we did not realize it, but in a very short time we were growing up very fast. We were becoming more and more aware. So, and we all found our own way to survive the situation, right? So one of the things I personally feel, which took me or gave me a lot of strength in that phase of my journey, is a sense of pride. This feeling that I was part of something bigger, and that I was a small part, which is a part of a big machine that essentially drove the world economy. At some point, I used to feel that nothing can get me tired. You make me work for 48 hours, 56 hours, you cannot get me tired. It was sort of a challenge that we took upon ourselves. And it was, so this sense of pride is a very interesting thing. I mean, what is it? What is a sense of pride? It's like an emotion, but it can actually have a very real effect on your life. I mean, how you survive through these tough situations. You don't even feel you have an option, but you just go through it because you feel that you have a sense of purpose. So, like for example, the first time I was standing on the bridge as a third officer, I felt that, wow, at 22 years of age, who gives you the responsibility of $1 billion asset and a 25 lives on board a vessel for 8 hours a day for 6 months in a year? Who does that? No company would do that. So by the end of that one ship, I was a very different person. I was not giving excuses. I think, again, as sailors, we share this. I felt that I could take responsibility for my parents. I had saved some money. I was starting to contribute financially to the final touches of a house that my parents were building. And because I knew some hands-on jobs, I had been working on the field. I used to even sometimes work with the construction workers. And another very interesting transformation that happened is that I did not need to work with the construction workers, but it was fun. I mean, no job seemed low or small or something like it. It was all, that's something I think we as sailors, we have started to respect, that anything that you do is worth doing, because it's not like that's a job for somebody else. If you can do it, why not? And so since then, I must say, Captain Amresh, the rest of my journey as a sailor, I have faced some of the toughest situations, as I'm sure you have as well. As a chief officer, I was sailing on a vessel there was a fire incident. The crew was not well trained. We had a limited number of crew with which we fought the fire. We got over it, but for the next few months, we got the crew up to standard. As a captain, I faced some of the tough ships. I joined a ship as a captain on a VLCC, and I found that on this ship there were 7 masters in the last 8 months. So every master used to make an excuse and then go home for some reason, and I knew exactly why they were doing it, because this was one of the most challenging ships I've ever done in my career. But as you would realize that these are not stories of sadness or stories of challenges. These are stories of pride. I mean, these are things that make sense of what we do. They essentially give us a sense of purpose, and it is tough to instill this sense of pride. And I know from the little discussions that we have had, you are also working on the ground with a generation of seafarers to try and instill this sense of pride. We also, as a company, are trying to do that in our own way at a global scale, which we are very proud of. So I think this sense of pride, as I was saying, is very very interesting concept, because if you sort of instill this in a person, it changes the way they look at life, and their entire experience of life changes to be more exciting. So yeah, those are some of the things that I have seen as a master. I mean, in my career as a from a cadet to master.
Thank you, Captain Basu. And I must repeat few of your teachings that, or I would say, the learning that you wish to share with our cadets. Especially since today's live session, I see only the IMU Vajag is there, but I know that Mr. David Bidwatkar and Captain Khan has also conveyed to me. So sooner or later, they will also watch these shows, or they might be seeing it on Sailor Today, which is live broadcasting it. I have pinned this IMU Vajak campus. Just wanted to share directly with the cadets and the trainees who are watching us live, or who will watch us later. There are two, three things which Captain Basu has conveyed us. One is that there will be some challenges when you go on board ship for the first time, at least. There will be some sort of aloofness. There will be some sort of a kind of a gap from the time that you are spending at your home or in your institutions, and suddenly when you are boarding a vessel, you will see, once the shore gets far and far further away, you will be confined to a place where you will have 20-25 people, and you will be watching these 20-25 people for almost 6 months or 9 months for the time on board that you will be spending upon. They will be your real mentors, they'll be your real mentees, and they will be the real that will be the real place where you will be growing. And transformation takes really at a very, I would say, appreciable speed on board ship. It will not be as organic as you see during your 3 year or 4 year of course that you are doing ashore. It will be very it will be quite fast. The moment you realize, from the time that you board vessel, from the time that you will sign off, within 9 months or 12 months or 6 months, whatever time you spend, you will be really grown up a lot. You definitely will miss your family. There will be challenges. I'm sure not the challenges that Captain Basu has faced or our generation has faced. We were, as he was mentioning, that he was he was keeping watch in the bridge wing in the quite colder atmosphere. Probably not the same situation nowadays with you guys, but be ready for some sort of hardship if you are thrown to. Don't be very complacent that no, I'm not supposed to do this. No, you will be facing some or other challenges as a sea carrier. If you have chosen that career, you will be facing it. So you should have sense of pride and you should have sense of purpose. These two message, if you can just highlight and go no underline it, the purpose that you have joined this career and why you would like to be in the organization that you are working upon. So this is something I would like to convey or summarize from the talk that Captain Basu has said. Captain Saran has raised the hand. Sir, you want to say now or we will take it at the end? Captain Saran?
Yeah, we can take it at the end. No issues.
Okay. Thank you so much for kind understanding, sir. So lovely journey, Captain Basu. Now I'm coming to your journey from the time you left sailing, and I know you started with blogging, and then you started with various other kind of training and sort of things. So what made you to become entrepreneur? Why not you join some sort of like DPA or some training superintendent or some company as the operator or manager? What help you, or I would say what made you to decide that you will do on your own, you will choose this path as an entrepreneurial journey that you are doing with your NavGuide solutions. So tell us something about your soul journey and any particular achievement that you really achieved since the time you have started.
Yeah, right. So thank you, Captain Amrish. So the journey ashore was quite interesting. First of all, I was a very happy sailor. I would have sailed all my life. I would have been one of those sailors would be not even wanting to retire. That kind, I loved the life of at sea. I think when it comes to job satisfaction, very few professions give you that kind of a sense of. So, I really felt incredibly proud of my job in 2000. Um, 16 I transitioned from sailing from a management company to an ownership company. So I was master of one of the best companies in the world in terms of work environment, salaries. I was on VLCCs, sailing on some of the largest ships in the world, and long voyages. Workload was relatively low. And then just when life was starting to look great, at the peak of what I consider the peak of the sailing career I had, I left the job. And why did I leave it? So from that time, I mean, there was something that we were doing. We started doing when I was still sailing, but it became started from an idea that we wanted to transform, fundamentally change and improve the lives of seafarers across the world by providing the guidance that they may or may not get when they are on board the vessel. So we started working on the on-the-job skills of the seafarers, the practical skills, the application skills of the seafarers, and we were using technology for that. Now, I'll get into further details in a while, but I at that time it felt uh, very risky to leave my job because it was going very well. I was enjoying my job, but I sort of found that this would be a more meaningful thing to do with my life. And most importantly, I must say this very clearly, that these kind of decisions, nobody could take us responsibility, or sort of credit or responsibility for himself. I had so many people that wanted to support me in this journey that we started with NavGuide Solutions. I mean, amazing people. Captain Robert Vaz, he's our chief operating officer right now. He was a former DPA of a very reputed management company. Um, Simply supported us in the starting of the company. Mr. Avinash Hegde, who's our head of engineering, who was also the head of training at NYK Singapore. People far more qualified than me, and they acted as this incredible support system. My wife Ishani, who knew nothing about this profession but fully supported when we were starting this profession. We started learning video editing, we started learning instructional design, how to develop websites. These were not core competencies that we had, but we had to learn it because we needed it to develop something that we were starting to develop. And even Karan, my first employee, he trusted in the vision and he dedicated his whole life to this. So basically, I started a business while I was still sailing, but the work was gaining enough traction. I had signed a contract, and then things were starting to get serious. So but I want to mention this one thing which is very interesting if you are transitioning from any career to being an entrepreneur. So people usually crave meaning in life and they have an idea, but there are practical constraints, there are practical challenges that stop you from being an entrepreneur. I know so many sailors who have started their own businesses and then eventually they fell back on something more stable, or they had to go back to sea. See, businesses die or they get derailed if you cannot take risks. And you cannot take risks if you don't have a cash reserve, right? So when I started this journey, it was very evident that income will drop. But I had to make sure my family will not suffer for that. For my dreams or my aspirations, I should not put pressure on my family or anybody else's family for that matter. And so one of the reasons why we could sustain and take risks along the way, we were trying to do something meaningful. We knew that it will take us a few years to get stable, to get a steady flow of income or other things. Now, what I want to share, and this could be a very important learning lesson for everybody who's aspiring to be maybe the young generation of seafarers, that you know if you have an option to go back to a stable life, and if you run short of money, 99% of the people will go back. Very few will stick on to being an entrepreneur because it is so damn hard. So what happened with me, I'll tell you personally, when I was about 23 or 24, I had a rough plan to be free by 40. I don't know how that happened, but it was really a line drawn in the sand. No particular reason why I thought 40, but I had planned a few recurring investments. Almost all of them culminated at the age of 40. So essentially, that meant that at 40, I would have a good amount of cash in my hand. One of them I remember was LIC investment, but eventually it was every year I would put in some money, which will ultimately mature at the age of 40. Also, I had a bucket list to complete. I wanted to do bungee jumping and skydiving and scuba diving and river rafting and shark diving. All of those happened before I turned 40. And also by 37 or 38, I managed to close down my loans. And this is a big one. Many people get constrained by loans, and then they have to keep doing what they do up to 60, even though if they have dreams and aspirations. So I left the sea when I was 41 and became an entrepreneur. And the 40s are a very beautiful age. You haven't lost your enthusiasm completely. You're probably getting a little bored of what you're doing, and then you want to have a variation in life. You have more maturity than in your 20s to take decisions. And if you have planned it well, you also have money to take risks. So all of these things come together at the age of 40, in your 40s. And not everybody, I'm not blanket, this is not a blanket statement. It might even happen in the 30s or something. But I would definitely recommend to aspiring entrepreneurs that wait until you have money to take risks, and wait until you have the maturity to make sure that the risks that you're taking are calculated risks and not just any risk that you're taking, right? So another interesting thing I'll share with you, I think you'll agree with me because I know of your journey a little bit, that you have also been very entrepreneurial in your mindset. I think the ship has taught us everything that is to learn about business. So I feel that this ship is essentially like this floating startup. And if you're a master of a ship, you're the CEO running the show, right? So the ship is one of the most exciting places to be. It has a lot of features of a startup. It has autonomy, it has innovation, it has cross-functional collaborations between different kind of groups. It has leadership from the front. It has clear deadlines that you have to satisfy, rapid creative problem solving. You don't have time all your life. You have to solve a problem within the next 1 hour or something bad happens, those kind of things. And most importantly, you have to perform. Like failure is not an option. 99% is not an option. You may be a 60% student all your life, but if you're a second officer on the ship, you cannot make 60% of a passage plan. You have to make it 100%. And judging from the youth perspective, I believe, and because there are so many youngsters listening to us today, I think if you crave relevance, if you crave meaning and purpose, it can give you this entrepreneurial playground where growth is happening every day. When you come ashore. So when I came ashore as a founder or a entrepreneur, I already knew teamwork. I knew resilience. I knew how to get things going even when things are not going your way, how to stick to something until it happens. I knew leadership. I knew how to drive a mission home. And not just me, I think this has happened with all of us. I mean, all of us at sea who have spent a good amount of time, 20, 23 years at sea, it teaches you all those things. And I must say, there are so many things that I also did not know anything about. As a sailor, you do not really know about the maritime profession. You think the ship is the maritime profession, but that's just a small part of it. I did not know the broader picture of what happens ashore. I had no contacts ashore. I had no idea how the shore side works. And I did not also know how to sell something. As a sailor, you don't need to sell yourself too much. You are almost always in demand. So you lack the ability to sell. But that was all fun. I mean, as and when you start this journey, you learn it along the way. And once you start taking pride in your job, of course, every hardship is like a challenge that you can overcome. And I mean, before I end this part of this question, I just want to put one thought point, which is a very interesting thing. I think we know for a fact that less than 15% of the people across the world actually love what they do, right? Now, there's a simple hack that we can think of as how do we love our journey as a professional, and it comes from the concept of gamification. Like, as part of my journey, I had to learn about gamification. We had research papers written on gamification. So what are gamification, what concept of games are very interesting. So when imagine this scenario that a child has been playing a game all day. He has faced challenges, he has faced hardships during the game, and he knows he will never get paid for it. In fact, sometimes he might really need to pay himself for playing the game. But at the end of the day, he's super excited. Now his father comes back from the office. He has faced challenges all day, he has faced hardships, and his father knows that he will be paid for it at the end of the month, but he's totally drained off. Why this difference between both of them have faced challenges and hardship? Why is somebody more excited than ever, and why is somebody so drained? Because in one case, there was an intrinsic motivation while you were doing the job. There was joy in the work. The kid has found meaning in overcoming obstacles. There was a sense of achievement, and he's even ready to pay for that. Whereas in case of a father, the motivation was more extrinsic. I'm facing challenges now. After a month, I will get rewarded, but today is so tough. I think if we simply change our thought process in from extrinsic to intrinsic motivation, which is if the joy comes from the work itself, then you don't even the salary or the payment is just a that is what is happening with us right now also. And it is a very important part of our entrepreneurial journey that whatever we do, we find meaning in it enough, because for a long time you may not see money and for that time the meaning is what will make you survive. I just wanted to share that, but thank you. Yeah, that's
Thank you, Captain Basu. I think very profound lessons for all of us actually. Right from credit save, if you start to save something for yourself, whether you would like to start your entrepreneur or not, but at least you will save it for your future. So start saving. And what I could learn from Captain Basu is that one should start a habit of saving right from the credit save, so that by the time you become master or you sail as a chief engineer, master, whichever rank that you're sailing, you will land up with a lot of money, and then you can decide based on your interest, based on your expertise, based on the extra qualification that you have gathered, that what profession that you would like to choose. The other points that Captain Basu has mentioned is this key. He started to think about the job that he is doing today, the entrepreneurial journey that he has today at the age of 23, 24. So basically the planning, you have to have a lot of planning in advance. Doesn't mean that all the plan will go as per the plan itself. No, there will be some changes. We also have seen during our passage planning also, we do appraisal, we do a lot of planning, and then at the end we see a lot of there's some sort of storm, some sort of adverse weather, and we have to change and amend the plan. It happens. Very similar thing in our life as well, in our career as well. We do plan something, but there will be some challenges. We have to keep amending our course and keeping the goal at the site. You have to keep amending your course, and idea is to reach the goal, but you are free to deviate from the course for a while and come back again. For all that deviation, you need some sort of some sort of guarantee, some sort of bank balance, some sort of support financially, morally, socially, family support, friend support, everyone. You need a good team, basically, as what Captain Basu was mentioning, that he was blessed to have Captain Baz, Mr. Karan, and various other people who has helped him and who believed in his vision when he was starting, and probably they were much matured and much intelligent than Captain Basu, because as on board ship we do not learn everything. We may learn how to operate the vessel, but various other business angle that we may not be learning on board ship, which you can learn only when you come ashore, such as reading the balance sheet, understanding profit and loss, understanding what is EBIT, getting the funds, and various other things, which is again part and parcel of the business, which you can do only when you start to actually come in the field. But having Captain Basu on board today to discuss the journey, it helps our kids, it helps our mentees to that they can start, if they wish to do something, they can start to think now instead of 24, 25. They can even start now. So they are at least 7, 8, 10 years ahead. They can do what probably we are doing it, or what probably we could have done it. So now coming to my next question, Captain Basu, that I know that you have kept your conversation considering young crowd in the audience. What is the advice that you would like to give your younger cadet? As I was mentioning, that there are many advices that you have already given, but if we have to summarize, what sort of advice that you would like to give to the young cadets? If suppose Cadet Basu has to join today, you have to join today as a cadet. What you would have done differently? What you would have done something different than what you had done earlier? So that will help other younger cadets to understand that probably uh, these are the mistakes, these are the things which you could have, which they should avoid. And what else they can do it, considering that today on our times probably calling home was once a week or once a month, but now they're all available on WhatsApp. There are everything, man. They are connected to the family as well as everyone. So what else they can do? What sort of mistake they can avoid? If you can throw light on that part.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I think that's a very interesting question, Gapna Maresh. If there was a younger cadet Vasu joining the shipping career right now, what I would say to him, right? So I would probably tell him that you're on the right path. This is a profession that will essentially give you everything, and both material positions as well as emotional stability, if you really know how to derive it. And I think an analogy that I often like to use is that your home is like this neat manicured garden where everybody loves you. It's prim and proper. You have help when you need it, and you can maintain it the way you want. The ship is like a forest. It is unruly, it is unapologetic, it is unreliable. Many a times you are your own plumber, your own electrician. I have been my own cobbler. It is not always perfect, but just like a forest, it is beautiful because it is not perfect, because it is real, and it prepares you for a very exciting journey. It is not just another job. And 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 also I want to mention this, that because of the nature of my work at NavGuide Solutions, I have this responsibility to stay in the frontier of technological changes in the world, what is happening around the world. And I can tell you that the next 5 years will look very different from the next last 20, 25 years. Mainstream professions, even professions like software engineers or doctors in a lot of cases, might not even exist in certain areas. Now, seafaring seems to be a profession that will exist, and it is not going away anytime soon, even though they are talking about autonomous ships. I have recently been in the London International Shipping Week. A lot of discussions are going on, but we are still far from actually replacing human beings. So it is a career that is worth pursuing at least for the next 10 years, 12, 15 years, which is something I cannot say for most other careers. I would also tell, every youngster that is joining to stay open-minded. You will face many cultures, you will face many experiences. You will come to realize that very little that you know has is right or wrong in the end, because almost everything that you think is right is probably wrong for somebody else in the world. And if you would have born in that part of the world, you would have also thought it is wrong. The only fundamentals that we can carry is like, you don't have the right to harm anybody else. That is sort of across the board. Everybody agrees that this is a fundamental truth. And also that honesty works better than smartness. If you have to choose one or the other, be honest. And it's good to be honest and smart, of course. But if it is one option, then just be, that's something very fundamental. Now, another thing is, if for the Gen Z that is already sailing, for example, I would sort of say that take a step back and try staying away from your Not that everybody is doing it, but I would suggest stay away from your mobile phone for like 15 minutes or maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours. Even if you can stop for a bit, take a step back and look around. Look at the environment that you're in on the ship. You're hundreds of miles away from home. You are on your own. You're waking up to some of the best sunrises, some of the best sunsets in the world. You're breathing the best air and having the best food. You're probably living a life which is comparable to a Fortune 500 CEO in a lot of cases. You're working with cultures all over the world. It's making your mind open up to different possibilities. This is supercharging your emotional quotient and EQ. Emotional quotient is going to be one of the most prized possessions in the future in the technological changes that we are having. Um, you're facing challenges which might come from different areas, different directions. You don't know what is going to come, and they might seem bitter in the beginning, but they are turning into an absolute champion, for the rest of your life. And this is a very uncompromising, unapologetic environment. It is ruthless, but it is so much more enriching and so much more fulfilling. And I'm talking about this from experience. I'm sure Captain Amresh will agree with me that having spent 25 years at sea, having seen some of the worst situations, worst challenges, I would not do anything else. There is no other profession I would rather be in. So be proud about it and find your own reason to feel proud. And this profession is actually giving you ingredients to turn you into a very, very rich human being in all respects. There are so many other things. It's good to be passionate about something. It is great to live a passionate life. I have a 2-year-old son. I wish at some point of his life he wakes up at 4 a.m. in the morning and he feels that, wow, that's a new day, so much to do, let's start. And not because he is expecting a big paycheck at the end of the day, but because fundamentally whatever he or she is doing, he finds a sense of purpose in that. That's a life I want for my son. That's a life that I want for the generation that is following us. I also do not believe that everybody should be an entrepreneur. There may be 1,000 people listening to this podcast. 2 or 3 of them will turn into the most successful entrepreneurs, and the others will probably end up working for them. But there is no right or wrong in this respect. You have to be really eccentric to be an entrepreneur. It is extremely tough. It is uncertain. It takes a crazy mind to get into from a stable life to an unstable life. We usually try to come from an unstable to a stable life, but to do the other way around, and if you're choosing a life which is more stable, a professional life with good work life balance, that's also equally good. You may be rebellious in other areas. You may be a very having a very stable job, but you may be a crazy in your sense of music, or you may be having passion or for martial art or other things. It is good if what you're passionate about also makes you money. But if it doesn't, either way, it is good to be passionate. And if you do choose to be an entrepreneur at some point of your life, just fix the problems. Focus on solving real painful problems. And don't tweak something from here to there. You see these Tide washing powder we buy every few days. They have a blue Tide with some blue crystals and green Tide with green crystals. Don't change the product slightly and say that you're creating something new. That's an example of that. Just focus on solving real world problems. And in a lot of cases, if you have an idea, just go ahead with it. Don't ask for permission. Don't wait for approvals. Just do it. Innovation is always ahead of regulations. Regulations will catch up, but if you are thinking of innovating something, just do that. And I want to mention this one thing which I think you will agree strongly with me. Focus on learning how to use your mind. I think I'm amazed by the fact that we pay so much attention to physical fitness. We know physical fitness matters a lot, but we usually do not know how to use our mind to its full potential. Now, just to clarify this, if you want to live an average life where you want to sort of make a living, maybe make some good money for your family, and you want to live within that category, your mind will let you survive that. But if you want to do something bigger than that, if you want to think of bigger aspirations, there has to be a time in the day when you take a step back and you focus on only developing the capabilities of your mind to a point where it can actually perform just like a athlete performs after having run hundreds of miles. And that, I think, is what it also falls in line with what you're doing at Namresh. It's amazing what you're doing in terms of developing that capability, because I think it's a very underrated thing that in a young age we don't feel the necessity to do this, because we think, oh, okay, we are doing well, we will keep meditation and mind control and everything for the later part of our life. That's so unfortunate that we are losing so much of capabilities, and everybody is destined to do so much more. So yeah, those are some of the things that I feel I would have told Cadet Basu.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. I think you have said quite a lot, and I'm sure our young mentees, young cadets, trainees, they might have noted down some of these learning, teachings, the wisdom that you are sharing with us. And I'm very glad that you have mentioned about using the capability of one's mind. Probably, I think Einstein has said that most of the best human being in the planet has used probably 7-8% of their total capacity. So just imagine if the biggest, I would say the innovator of this planet till now, he has said this, then must be some truth to it. So I'm sure with meditation, with some sort of mindfulness, some sort of other exercises, I'm sure one can definitely enhance the utility of the mind, which is definitely less talked about. We can discuss this part later on once we touch base upon the mental health part, not for today. Today, Captain Basu, we would like to now utilize your, I would say, the best in what you have and your expertise in the technology. And as you were mentioning, even in the last question when you were answering, the young cadets today, don't you think that they should have a kind of aspiration to learn new technology? May it be generic AI, may it be some other tools, because those facilities or those kind of opportunities were not there at our time. They are blessed to have, and there are many such courses, many such knowledge are available most of the time free, and they can do it even from ship, because those technologies are available now on board ship as well. So instead of watching some reels, instead of watching some sort of other things, they can definitely watch for refreshing and of course for entertainment, but they can also utilize the same gadget to enhancing their own I would say the credibility, knowledge and expertise, so that tomorrow probably they can do it in the area that they best think that will suit them, not for the area that I or you will recommend. But this is what I would suggest that they should also do. This is the advice I would give it to myself when if I am younger. So, as you rightly mentioned, Captain, we as a Seafarers Global, we have identified this gap that after the training, in spite of doing on-board training and all, when they come back to do the courses, may it be second mate, may it be mates or master, or for example, when I came ashore for the first time, there was nothing kind of course available, or in no, I would say no such knowledge were available wherein I can go refresh myself and prepare myself for the sole job. We have to learn everything on job. When I became a director of a company, I was not knowing how to read balance sheet. I was not knowing how to read profit and loss. I was not knowing how to pitch. As you rightly said, we do not know how to sell. I was even having a difficulties to understand the difference between marketing and selling. What is the difference between sales and marketing? And all that thing probably was a gap, and I would say still it exists. So what we have done as a Seafarers Global is that we have created now pool of mentors. We have got very expert mentors. Some of those mentors are available today. Raj Sinha, I said, he is also a very big entrepreneur. Captain Saran Saab is there. I'm sure other mentors will be also there. Amit is there. So what we have done is we have a pool of people now who are available based on their, because it's a voluntary service we are doing free of cost, who are helping aspiring second mate, aspiring fourth engineer, third engineer, second chief officer, to help them in passing. I mean, to prepare them for orals, their exams, and someone who wants to come ashore, we try to give them the best advice based on whatever we faced or whatever we could tell them. I know from your work and whatever discussion that we have done, you are doing something very similar, and you have identified the gap that exists on board ships while they are performing on board ship. So, what is that you would like to share with our people today? That what exactly you are doing and how it can help them, and how they can utilize those whatever skills that you are trying to provide them.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you, Captain Amresh, that while you are doing this fantastic work on the shore side of how they can, cover their skill gaps and helping them in passing their exams and other things, we are doing very similar thing on the ship side. So essentially, what we are doing is we wanted to solve the skill gap, the mentorship gap that exists on board the vessels, which is when the person joins the ship, there is a lot of learning that has to happen on the ship, and it is only possible when your seniors are teaching you. That is not something that you can pick up in college, not something that you can pick up while doing courses ashore. And when the mentorship on board does not happen, how does the seafarer learn their jobs? Now, why we wanted to solve this, because this practical side of the job is causing a lot of trouble in terms of vessels um, landing up in accidents, getting detained, landing up in claims, people on the personal level in a lot of cases, landing up in a very, very pressure cooker situation on the ship that people don't consider them or regard them well. So right from commercial benefits from the ship owner all the way to personal level benefits for the seafarers and building up their confidence, your skills on board, your practical application skills are very, very important to have. Now, for all the vessels that do not have good mentors or they don't have time for mentoring because there are busy ships or there are cultural differences, multicultural environments, we developed a technology, we developed an application which actually helps them learn their jobs. So this is an app that is available on Android apps, Play Store or iOS App Store, and this is a unique concept, which is like a personal mentor for every seafarer. It's a simple to use app that is now being used by thousands of seafarers across hundreds of vessels, mainstream companies like MOL, using them to upskill their seafarers, and they are becoming more and more confident in their jobs. Now, as a concept, this is unique and it is not really the traditional form of training as we know it, because we are trying to take the training to the point of performance. We are sort of saying that if we can bring the training very close to the point where the seafarer is performing, then what happens is that right after he gets trained, his information becomes muscle memory. Then they don't forget it anymore. So, in a relatively short time, this work has been highlighted at the global stage. The concept was acknowledged as a game changer by neutral bodies like Intertanko, by BIMCO, by the North Standard PNI Club, by the Nautical Institute, the Indian Ocean MOU. We have been invited in multiple occasions by these bodies to either present for them. We were invited to Tanzania by the Indian Ocean MOU last year, also to the Dubai Intertanko Vetting Forum. Um, we were also invited to the IMO twice already, and recently a paper was published on our work by the ITF that actually emphasizes how this application can have a very positive impact on the seafarers to perform their jobs. And may I say, it is very rare to have a name of an application on an IMO paper, because IMO paper usually talks about a concept or a idea, but this is talking exactly about our application being the game changer in the industry and how people learn their jobs. Recently, the DG Shipping of India, uh, Captain Mr. Sham Jagannathan, has acknowledged this, that India is proud of the work that NavGuide Solutions is doing. And we are also strongly supported by an advisory board consisting of prominent members from the industry. In fact, people like Phil Davies, who was the former vice president of Chevron, Captain Naoki Saito, the general manager of Class NKK, Captain Ashok Mahapatra, former director at the IMO, Captain Sam Medwa, Simon Robinson in the OCIMF. They have been also directors, and many others. And recently, we also brought in Mr. John Adams as our chairman. John has been the former managing director of TK and V Group. He's also the chairman of the Bahamas Shipowners Association and vice chair at the International Chamber of Shipping. And I'm very proud to work with these people as much as I'm proud to work with people like Captain Robert Vaz, Captain Mr. Avinash Hegde. They are also on the call, by the way. They've been strong support for us to develop this tool to a point where it actually has the effect that it is intending to have. So, and also on a personal level, if you ask me personally, I feel a big sense of achievement when a second officer calls us and tells us that this one video that you have on the EGDIS has been so valuable to me that this video is actually more important than my discourse, that this video is talking about how to mark my passage plan in 5 minutes. It is giving me the information where I can learn and do my job. And this is exactly the kind of questions I'm getting from my port state inspectors, but sometimes my seniors are not patient enough to teach me. But this application we have, it doesn't judge you. It like teaches you 5, 10 times, 15 times if needed, as long as you get to the level of excellence. We recently also had a situation where a third engineer called us and she said that she was having not a very good environment on board. People were not taking her very seriously for the first few months. But when she went down to the engine room for the 9 o'clock round, she used to take a look at one of our guidance videos on one part of the engine room. And we have many such videos. And while she went to the engine room to actually carry out the round, after watching the video, she could see very interesting, she could pick up on problems and deficiencies and non-compliances and defects on those areas. And then eventually what happened is she could bring this to the notice of the chief engineer or the second engineer. And eventually her life on board improved, and her work environment changed because of this. Another third officer in Amsterdam, I remember, he saved a detention because he found a crack in the rescue boat, which the chief officer had missed out. That crack could have caused the ship a detention, which would have caused the company over $80,000 because that was the rate at which the ship was hired. And it could have caused delays for the ships. And these are the things that make sense of our work. And so many such stories I can share with you. But and also I would like to take this opportunity to actually share my screen and show what we are talking about, because this is an application which is free to download from the Android App Store or Play Store. And in the free version, you get one section open, but then the other sections will be locked. So the seafarers can also subscribe to the other sections if they like this. And the one section which is open, which is LSAFFA. So essentially, it is covering one of the most important chapters. So if you allow me, I would then just share my screen and show what I'm talking about, how this app can benefit.
Sure, Captain Basho, you can please show us. And we have to be little mindful for the time as well. We have already crossed 1 hour. So, and we have to have a few questions probably will be coming from the our attendees. So we have to be available for that as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'll just take 2 minutes to demonstrate what I'm talking about here. Okay. Yeah, so as I was saying, this is, can you see my screen? Is it shared on the screen already? Can you see my screen?
Not yet, not yet.
Okay, just a minute.
1 minute. Yeah, well, let me pin to the screen. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, good. So, yeah, so as I was saying that this application is very simple to understand and use. So you open the app and you open up the vessel in different areas. Now, if you're at any rank, what you can do is you can go into a particular area. Like, for example, if you're a chief officer, you would go to the aft area, or if, let's say, if you're a third officer, you would go to LSAFFA. And inside that, you will have sub zones and sub areas divided: life rafts, life jackets, immersion suits. So you can go into any of these sections, like immersion suits, for example. And you could, first of all, you can do a self inspection of your own area. So everything that you need to check is coming up here, and you can confirm that you have checked this. And you can also click a photograph as an evidence and attach that as an evidence of you have done this job, and then you can collect your own record of your performance. So once you have done this, you proceed, submit, and then you go to report generation, and you could generate a report out of whatever photographs you have clicked and all that. This is one part of the app. Now you see the reports will come up with all the photographs that you have taken and the comments that you have done. Simple enough to understand. Now, if you have a doubt in something, let's say, again, taking you back to the LSFFA, let's say life raft, one of the questions here is talking about the hydrostatic release unit at weak link. This is a very specific problem, and sometimes we don't know how to do this. So you click on this red button under the question, click to view example. If you don't know how this connection should be, this will show you a photograph, and thousands of such photographs will actually explain how to do the job. So essentially, let's say this one is the transportation strap in proper condition. Now, this is the transportation strap of the life raft. You can see in the photograph, and the notes under the question will also guide you on what to do. And then you have a video on the top right corner. This video is a live run through of that entire inspection on the life raft being carried out on a real ship. This is what took us almost 2.5 years to build up. This is a live video showing exactly covering that checklist. This is what I meant by visualizing checklists. We are trying to visualize the checklist for the seafarers and sort of trying to essentially say that how, so we have specific things like the shape safety shackles, and there is a, I have not switched on the audio, so you can't hear it, but there is an audio behind it which is guiding you. And this is a live run through showing you the right and wrong things, as if this inspection was being carried out by a very senior person. So I'll stop sharing now. What I wanted to show you is this, that this application has this nature of essentially acting as your mentor on board. So if you don't have a chief officer or a captain who has the time to help you, the application helps you. It actually acts as a mentor behind a captain behind every third officer, or a second engineer behind every third engineer, who's actually doing the job. And while they're doing the job, they're learning on the go. So they're essentially picking up their experience. So this is covering a lot of bases. First of all, the application is helping you as a seafarer to maintain your own area in compliant with statutory regulations or commercial regulations like SIRE, right ship, port state inspections, which is a big reason why companies like MOL or KOTC is working with us. They are worried about, or they are, they want to solve this mentorship gap on board the vessels, so that each individual on the ship knows how to maintain their own areas in compliance with all regulations. That is one. The other thing is that it helps as a seafarer, it helps you pick up your job and learn your job better. And it empowers you in different ways. Like if you're, for example, going for a promotion, you can simply pick up this app and do the job of the next rank and collect evidences of that with photographs. And if you have a doubt, the app teaches you also. So this is the first application of its kind which combines inspections and training on the same platform. That's the game changer over here. That's why we are getting noticed and acknowledged, even though we are a relatively young company, just about 4 years, but we are getting a lot of attention from major bodies like Intercargo or Intertanko or others that are actually not only supporting us by giving us a stage, but also in some ways trying to work with us, and or we are trying to also collaborate with them in multiple different ways. So that's in a nutshell. I would really love for everybody to download this from the App Store or from the Android Play Store. It's called Guide to Inspections. 2 is a numeral 2. Guide to Inspections is one word. So Guide to Inspections, one word. 2 is numeral. So that's the name of the app. So anybody can search it out. Nav Guide Solutions. It's a white blue logo. Yeah, that's about our work, and we have some phenomenal feedback coming in from seafarers on that. Yeah.
Thank you, Captain Basu. I think you have done an exceptional job by creating this tool. and providing a very practical aspect of what probably we have missed out, or we were totally dependent upon our chief officer or master or chief engineer to teach us, and probably with the workload they might not get time to teach people, so at least these tablets or this app on phone will help them to teach themselves and at the same time prepare themselves to become better version of what they are already today. And ultimate reality of everyone is that we have to become better version of ourselves. So I think your app and whatever job that you are doing on board ship, whatever job that we are doing ashore is basically to help people to becoming best version of themselves,
Right.
and that is all what we're trying to do. So now I would like to invite Captain Saran, sir. He is our very expert and senior mentor. Over to you, Captain Saran, sir. Whatever you wish to say.
Hi, good evening, guys. Good afternoon, rather. I've been off the video primarily because my connection is not so good, but I hope it works this time.
Yes, sir. We can hear you. You are
Yeah,
still on ship. You're still on ship.
yeah, I'm still stuck here. Don't worry.
Okay, okay. You're joining from the ship. Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, not a problem. Uh, Great, nice insights. A great app, actually. In fact, I had a lot of questions, but the last few minutes got me onto something else. Captain Vasu, I hope this app seems to be a great initiative, and I will presume it's what we will call generically just-in-time training if required. However, a
Absolutely.
little bit of concern since I have come back to see after 10 years and seen the changes. Uh, Catch is, will the guys cotton on to this? They are more prone to watch Insta reels instead of this. And frankly speaking, the way currently the way vessels are being run, uh, I hope this is more of a training exercise prior joining, and they use it as such. Because
Yeah.
honestly, unfortunately, rather, uh, the setups on sailing has changed. You rightly said mentors. The role of mentors has changed, or rather, mentors have disappeared. So that seems to be a problem.
Yeah, so thank you for that question. I completely agree with you. The mentorship, there is a lot of gap in that. That is what we're starting to trying to address. The best use of this app, I must say, Captain Yashwant, is on board the vessel, and we have installed it on hundreds of vessels. And the seafarers, when they get to understand how to use this in the proper sense, is not resisting its use. Actually, they are quite interested in using it and preparing their own areas. Now, the app, by the way, it does not need internet. It works offline, first of all. So it is completely usable. If a second mate is working on the bridge, it can completely use it. Now, what we are doing is, this is very interesting thing, that you're actually putting, the app is actually putting the second mate or the chief officer in the mindset of working and not training. Like, you go do the job that you're supposed to do. If you're a second officer, maintain the gyro compass. Like, as you go through the app, you will be guided on what to do, how to maintain it. But if you need to see how to maintain it, or if you have a doubt, that is when the mentorship is almost coming behind you, and then it is like supporting you in time. You used a very beautiful word over there, just in time training. That is exactly what we are doing. Just in time training is so powerful because it does not let you forget. What we have seen again and again is, the let's say, a second officer having done a bridge audit with this application, and every time referring to the video and then doing the job, not watching all the video on a Saturday afternoon as a training exercise. No, watch the video, but then do the job also, so that that video, whatever you have seen, becomes muscle memory. At the end of it, couple of things are happening simultaneously. This second officer who has done that bridge audit is now super confident in his or her own area. And you can try this out because you're on the vessel. I would very much encourage you to download this app and use it on the vessel. So first of all, that confidence level builds up on every level. Second officer, second engineer, third engineer, fourth engineer, whichever area they're responsible for, now they're super confident in that area. That's number one. Number two, this audit is one of the most detailed audit that the vessel will be doing. It is way beyond the level of an audit of a, let's say, a 5-star hotel. will not have so much time as much is required to cover all the bases of this application. But it is not increasing the workload of the seafarers, because we have categorized these checks in a way that first time you do a thorough audit, next time you separate out the static checks, things that will not change. There are a lot of things that will not change. You don't have to necessarily check every time, every month, whether your bead weld on the mooring bits are there or not. If it is there, it is there. If you have a certificate is there or not. If it is there, you know it is there. So those are static checks. But then you only do the dynamic checks, which is a very short part of the whole checklist. So we are in actually, I can go into details, but we have taken care of a lot of psychological aspects over here while creating the app, and also practical experiences, which is reducing the workload, improving the efficiency, and that's why seafarers are not resisting it. They are actually liking to use it. That's what we have seen. Yeah.
Right. Pretty interesting. I'm trying to understand this one. It downloads all your videos moment you subscribe to the app. Is that correct? That would mean
No,
that
no, no.
that's what.
So there are two
Then
versions.
how would it say
Correct.
that you don't need internet? Because
Yeah, yeah.
let's put a generic standard question to you. Currently, even this webinar to join, my internet connections are not good enough. That's why I
Right.
kept my video off for most of the time. So how does that be addressed?
Yeah.
Unless your app has already pre-downloaded, how do we say we don't need internet? Trying to understand this. I am not
Correct.
an IT guy, so maybe
No,
that's
no,
why
it
it
is,
is.
it is very simple. So the thing is that when I said don't need internet, there are two versions of this app. When you download it, like right now, also if you download it from the Android Play Store or iPhone App Store, you will be able to download the app. You can register yourself. In that version which you downloaded, you will have the entire inspection side of it offline. So you can physically go in different parts of the vessel, carry out an inspection, attach a photograph. This part does not need internet. But if you want to watch a video or watch a photograph, it will ask you for internet in this version. But when we work more on a structured paid manner with a company, with a shipping company, we also allow them to download videos, which is typically done with a stronger internet connection. So many companies are buying a tablet for this application, so they're bringing the tablet on the office. They're first downloading all the videos, and this will be a big download. I mean, this is going to be almost 4 or 5 GB of download. So essentially that much space should be occupied, and then they are sending it with all the videos downloaded to the ship, so that after that it doesn't need internet. So these are the two versions. The seafarers version, if you are downloading as a seafarer, because our main business model is to go to shipping companies and ask them to subscribe to this and then give it to the seafarers in the form of a tablet or in the form of a phone. If the seafarers are downloading it, the videos will need internet for sure. And they could watch the video in the accommodation, for example, and then go out for the job. When they're going out for the job, that they can collect evidences of the job, and that part does not need internet in both versions. So this is a bit of I could engage with you more later in a more detailed manner to explain
Uh,
a number of other things.
Thank you, Captain Basu. Captain Saran, sir, I think I need to take questions from younger kids, and we can I can connect you with Captain Basu, and you can take one to one. Is that okay, sir? Captain Saran, some network issue. Okay, I'm now opening the forum for others to ask questions if you have any. I'm Vajag or other whoever wish to ask questions, just raise your hand and you can ask. Audio, you can post it in your chat box. What I like, Captain Basu, is that you have basically covered the aspects which were kind of missing. People were finding that issues more often, especially it was getting highlighted. Either it is internal audit or external audit, or kind of weekly round from master chief engineers. They used to see this concerns,
Exactly.
but still there were issue of getting it done, or probably some master has said to some second officer, and that master has signed off, or they have gone, and now this second officer is like using it, and he has not passed the information to the next second mate or next other officers. and then it lost. Now with this kind of system in place, we don't have to depend upon the people. System will take care of it.
That
Very
is so important as a point, that we need to transition from an entirely people dependent industry to a process dependent industry, so that safety standards are lifted up regardless of who comes on board and regardless of how energetic the people are. Because if you have good people, we know the ship will run well. If we don't have serious people on board, uh, the ship will fall down to a certain. So we are trying to establish a system, and it is still not a bulletproof system that only by establishing an app you're. But you rightly said that it's a process that we are also trying to focus on, that improves the safety standards of the entire industry. And if you see the ITF paper that was published at the IMO, it also it talks about that how this kind of an approach can elevate the standard of an entire industry by giving mentorship of a very high quality on demand in the hands of every seafarer.
Exactly, and the same thing we and I also tell on my weekly session that we are not trying to help one particular person. What exactly we are doing is we are trying to help industry, because the resources available to the industry will be much more equipped with the latest technology, with the latest knowledge that is available in the market. So we are not helping one person to pass the exam. Tomorrow, if that person with this kind of equipped knowledge will go on board ship, he will train others as well. He will not constrain the knowledge to himself. So
Exactly.
excellent. So there is one Chitresh Datta is asking, sir, can someone pre-download the videos back home and then use the app on board? Is it possible?
No, that is not possible in the Seafarers version. The Seafarers version will always have the videos dependent on internet, because many ships are having internet free of charge. But it's a good idea to download it when you're on ashore, that you can also go through the videos and you can run through the videos. As Captain Yashwant also said, that before joining, you can run through a number of videos where if you think that when you join you will not have internet at all, but many companies are now giving free internet to the seafarers, and you can watch the videos online. Shouldn't be a problem. Yeah.
And future will be, even if today somebody is not giving, tomorrow they will have to give. The future, the seafarers will not join a ship which doesn't have the internet. The days are coming.
Yeah.
So they
Sure.
will have on board ship. Okay, I see
Yeah.
Captain Robert Baz has raised the hand. If you can unmute yourself, Captain Baz, and you can share your wisdom.
Yeah. Hi, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yeah. So first of all, fantastic session, Captain Amrish and Captain Debashish. I think this is an eye opener for most of the mentees who are watching it. As the CEO of NavGuide, I can say that I think one of the main reasons why our app is gaining traction among the seafarers is because even they find that this app is actually bridging the gap between what is in the real world and what is taught in institutions and maritime institutions. At times, very practical skills are probably missing, and that is the gap we are addressing in our app. Another very interesting concept, I think all of the people who are here on this call, that as you know now it's all human factors based. You look at SIRE, or you look at the port state control, or you look at right ships, they're all focusing on the human element. We forgot to mention it. Oh, it's part of the app actually, that we have created something called a scenario based games, whereby now you could actually do a demo, you could actually do a like a rehearsal, the questions that are expected to be asked by these inspectors to whichever rank you are. And we have got several questions, several scenarios. So you are actually prepared for an inspection before the actual inspection. So in case you make a mistake, we actually guide you how to answer well. And that is very well acknowledged by everyone who has used our app. And I think this is a very good learning tool for all. I just wanted to add this to whoever's listening. Yeah, thanks.
So
Thank you, Captain Baj. And these are available on Select Today YouTube. It is being live telecasted in Select Today Radio as well as in YouTube. The mentees, mentors, the companies, superintendent, everyone can watch this online. Select Today is one of the very prominent maritime, I would say, the news channel or portal that is available for us to watch later on. With this, if anyone else wants to ask anything from Captain Basu, please unmute yourself and you can ask. Otherwise, we're coming close to end our session. It's already 4:22. Normally by 4:30 we'll close it. So if anyone wishes to ask anything, please unmute and maybe you can share your questions or you can ask whatever you wish to. Yeah, Chitresh, you can unmute and ask, please.
Sir, am I audible? Sir, am I
Yes,
audible?
Chitresh, yes, yes, yeah.
We can't hear you.
A little louder, maybe. Yeah.
There is some background sound, Chitresh.
Oh, 1 second, sir. Is it better now? Sir, is it?
Yeah, you unmute yourself, Chitresh. I have muted you. Yeah, unmute yourself.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me, sir? Am I audible?
You are audible. There is still background sound, but you can ask your question. I'm sure Captain Basu is hearing you.
Yes, sir. So firstly, I just want to share my gratitude and the exceptional work that both of you are doing. It is exceptional, sir, and it is what I feel as a young officer to become an officer. I feel that this is really going to be a disruption and in this in our community. Sir, and for this, I just wanted to ask, sir, that is it all vessel specific, or it can be like these videos, and you are all making it a generic type so that it can be used for like any kind of vessel a person is sealing, no matter what sort of equipments they are having. It is irrespective of that that they can use this guidance.
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. When you select or you log in to the app, there are only two things that the app will ask you: what is your rank, and what kind of vessel you're on. So depending on the vessel that you are on, the entire database will change, the videos will change, the guidance will change. So if you're on a container ship, it will give you container guidance. If you're on a, so we are covering 7 types of vessels right now. All the 4 tanker types: oil, chemical, LPG, LNG tankers, container ships, bulk carriers, and offshore vessels. And we are working more on offshore vessels, but all the other 7 types, the 7 types that I mentioned, if you are on any of those vessels, you can use the full potential of the app. If you are on a ro-ro ship or a passenger ship, you can still use sections like bridge, engine room, LSFFA, which are common to all ships. You can, this app has been designed in a way that, and I think this is something which every technology in modern day and age should be designed, that it is so simple to understand and use. Even on YouTube, you have a very simple video given on the usage of this app and also how it can benefit your life as a seafarer. Because as you said, Chitresh, is that our entire journey has been very mission focused. We have started this to be, and simplicity is so underrated. We have this big technology companies building technologies which are complicated to understand and difficult to. What we were doing, I mean, this is being used across nationalities by Myanmar crew and the Indonesians and by oilers and motormen, all the way to captains, chief engineers, superintendents, or surveyors even are using it. One interesting thing is Amazon published a statistics a few years back that if the number of clicks that you need to buy something on Amazon platform increases from 3 clicks to 4 clicks, it turns out 25% of the people are not buying, right? So 25% of Amazon revenue, billions of dollars, is depending on one extra click. So why is this an important statistics? Is because when we were also designing our app, we made sure that in 2 clicks, you're actually doing a job. You're not understanding the app or figuring out what to know. 2 clicks, maximum 2 clicks. You don't have to log in anymore. Once you download it, you click on it, the ship opens up in different areas. You go to the area that you want to go to, and you start doing your job, right? So this simplicity of operation is what has brought us a lot of, um, popularity with the seafarers. And we may take a long time to convince the owners to implement it, but once we implement it on the ship, the seafarers become fans of this application, and they're actually using it without being forced, which is a major issue in our industry because new things have to be forced. But in this case, you can see it for yourself when you download this. So I would encourage you to also share it with your friends, and it's free of charge. LSFFA has been given, and LSFFA is applicable on any kind of vessel that you're on. It is applicable for deck as well as engine. It is applicable for senior as well as juniors. Everybody should know LSFFA. Also, third officers, cadets, LSFFA is a big learning lesson for them. That's their next step. If you're a cadet, you're being a third officer, that's the next thing that you need to do. So that's why LSFFA has been very thoughtfully chosen as a free section. It's completely free. All videos are free. All guidance are free. You can generate your own reports and everything you can do. So, yeah, I hope that
Thank
answer
you,
was.
thank you so much, Captain Devasish. It has been really great talking to you. I'm sure everybody has been very uh, passionately hearing you, and they are very happy to have your thought on leadership, right from cadetship to master, and then your entrepreneurial journey. I just want to ask if anyone wish to ask again. We have 2 more minutes before we close the session. Then please raise your hand and ask your questions. Otherwise, I would like to invite Captain Raj Sinha. If you can unmute yourselves up, and I see you are here. He is also one of our very founding member of Seafarers Global Group. If he is around and if you can unmute yourself. Hi, Captain Saab. How are you?
Hi. Hi. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Thank you,
Good
Sab. It was although I joined late, but then I think the later part of it, I had the uh, full essence of what this app is all about and what Captain Devasis is doing. Thank you, Captain Devasis. Glad that you are adding at least a bit back to the society from where you have learned your knowledge. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Captain Raj.
Thank you. So, with this, we would like to Seafarers Global team wish to thank everyone for joining this session. Our monthly session on this leadership will happen next month, which means will be October, last Friday of the October. Uh, Sir, you want to say something? Then please share your thoughts, and then you can close the session also. Unmute yourself, sir.
Yeah, thanks, Captain Basu, for a very insightful session there.
Thank you.
And of course, to Amresh for organizing all these kind of interesting do's. I wish I could have, interacted more, but my signals were a little weak. But great initiatives, and great to see some good innovations coming through.
Thank you so much. Means a lot, Captain Yashwar. I'd love to be in touch with you on WhatsApp. I'm sure Captain Amresh will share my number with you. So,
Right,
Sure.
in the group. He's in the group, so you can find his number. Captain Sinha is also in group. Everyone is in the group. We'll share the number as well. So thank you so much. Thank you, Sailor, today for live telecasting on YouTube as well as Sailor Today Radio. Thank you, Amit. Thank you, Sahira. Thank you, Hassan. Thank you, Pratik, for doing the job from the background. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Captain Basu.
thank you so much, Captain Amresh. Thank you. Great to have you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Amit. Thank you so much. Thank
Thank
you.
you, everybody. Bye
Thank
bye.
you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye. Bye bye. Thank you, Pratik. You joined quite early. We are just closing the session.
So sorry, sir. So sorry.
Closing the session now. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. Karam Singh, thank you for joining. Hari Agrawal, thank you for joining. Captain Nazir Upadhyay, sir, thank you for joining. Niloy, thank you for joining. I'll close the meeting now. Thank you. Bye. Bye.